What's up YouTube, Orange Juice here, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be going through the evolution of Bionicle Spider-Man. So now I've got this intro out of the way, let's get started. In 2017, let's set the scene. I'm at a tender 11 years old, Bionicle G2 just ended, and I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. So let's go back to those days with the first photo and the earliest version. Let's go. So, now we're getting into Bionicle Spider-Man. I'd like to introduce you to the very first recorded version of Bionicle Spider-Man. This image is from 2017. So this version's fucking old, right? As you can see, it's very old, but it's in fact not the first version. So the first version was made out of two Lego Bionicle Stars sets. It was made out of Tahu stars, and it was made out of Paraka stars. And you put the blue limbs on the red body and hands and head, and to create a Spider-Man type model. And then over the months after creating that, I swapped out the limbs and head. I believe for the head I used a Lego Hero Factory Brain Attack Rocker head, and went over that with paper, which I coloured in to look right, and I put a bit of clay on the torso for some reason. But yeah, in 2017, this was the first ever incarnation of Bionicle Spider-Man. For the next version, we're going to skip to 2019, because there's a 2-year dark period in his history. So let's get on to that. Alright, so we're skipping 2 years into the future here. I made a YouTube video back in 2019. I called it a stop motion, despite that it really isn't one. But yeah. So I've skipped 2 years ahead in the timeline for this one. And as you can see, there were some major improvements. And also some downgrades. So my favourite bit of this version was definitely the incorporation of a custom torso. So I actually built my first ever custom torso for a Bionicle mock in 2017, but in 2019, that's around the time I started to incorporate them more often, until I got to my modern style, where pretty much every character is fully custom torsos nowadays, and even custom limbs on occasion. But, yeah, this version uses a piece from a Lego Spider-Man car set, a Lego Junior set for his torso, which I think is a fairly clever parts usage, as it gives him the logo and the web pattern. The limbs are basic CCBS, although this was the first version of the mock, which incorporated magnets on his hands and feet. They were really weak magnets I used, but they were magnets nonetheless. And yeah, it does later become a staple of the mock. Anyway, the head is wrapped with electrical tape, which I then sharpied the right colours, and it looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. But the head wrapped in tape, that's a feature that stays in the next version, which is pretty much a complete overhaul. And the next version will appear right now. Alright, now moving on to the next version. This version actually appears on YouTube, and it was created in 2020. So, the head is fairly similar to the previous one, except this version, I used a red electrical tape, and I used paper for the eyes, and I wrapped the whole thing in clear sellotape. Now, I think I painted over the top of it, except the eyes in red. So that's how I did that, and the body was a kind of crap custom torso, incorporating a bit of a broken Bo-Rock limb, and I also used broken Bo-Rock limbs for the arms. It just overall looks terrible, not even the hands match. But, yeah, this version very clearly leads into the next version, which appears in, I can't remember, it's either 2020 or 2021, this next version, where it appears in the Powerbot series. So you'll see that right now. As you can see, the next version very much leans in from the previous one. There isn't many changes made. The key differences you will notice are, I've swapped the upper arms for some cut down Agori limbs, which just look far better, I think. The hands are both red now, and he now has magnets on his hands and his feet, which I thought was a fun play feature, and just makes the figure a lot of fun. As you can see in this photo, the feature's going to work. Honestly, it's very simple. This figure has the same issues of previous ones, like poor colour balancing, and doesn't really look like Spider-Man. such as how he's got very little red on him, far too much blue and also far too much black, and the head still looks a bit crap. So here is the next version, which is actually the first time this version's been put online. I've put it in a few Discord chats when I was experimenting, but that's pretty much as far as this image has gone. So the biggest change you can see are the arms. This is the first time I experimented at incorporating action figure parts in with a Bionicle style mock, and that's my idea for the hands, as I figured this guy's around the same size as a Marvel Legends figure, so why not incorporate Marvel Legends components? And that was the first time I experimented with that. The second big change you can see is the head. It's the same head as previously, but I repainted the whole head. I spray painted it white and then I painted it red, and then I added these paper eyes. And so yeah, let's move on to the next photo. So this next image isn't really a full-on version of the mock like before. Like, I wouldn't go as far as to call it an incarnation, it's more of a work in progress photo. But as you can see, this experiment's significant, as that's when I brought in his modern arms. They were, fun fact, they weren't actually designed for the Bionicle Spider-Man mock. They were actually designed for a custom action figure, where I wanted to experiment using Lego Mixel joints, combine them with action figure parts. That custom action figure never really panned out, just didn't turn out the way I wanted, but they did come into the use that was used in the completed version, which I will show right now. This version is the first version of Bionicle Spider-Man that appeared in the Bionicle Spider-Man TV show. Yes, well, not TV, the YouTube series. But this was the first ever mock that appeared in it. As you can see, well, if you want to get a better look, you can just watch the episode. Granted, it's 52 seconds long. But, yeah, changes I made. It's the same head from the work in progress, but I've added web lines. And I've given him these arms. But, you see, at the time, the reason he's got this really odd design is I didn't have any hands available, or at least in the hand sets I wanted, in red from Marvel Legends figures. But I really wanted him to give him swappable hands so that he could move. So I decided to do something a little unique with his design. So I made his forearms black, his upper arms red, and his hands blue, and then flipped it on his legs, giving him black shins. But that's also because they didn't make any CCBS shin bone pieces in purely red, except the really long ones, which just wouldn't work for me because they wouldn't work size-wise. But this version's alright, but his head looks funny, he's a bit stumpy looking. But yeah, speaking of the head, I'll move on to the next version. So here we have the episode 2 version of the Bionicle Spider-Man mock. As you can see, there are some big differences. Some of the most major ones, the new head. The new head actually reuses the previous paper eyes, which I removed and then glued onto the new head. How I made the new head was I had some knockoff Glatorian heads, and I used them. I covered them in hot melt glue, and then what did I do? Shaped it around. The later versions I used clay and like other materials, but for later incarnations. But for this one, that's how I made the head. Same limbs, but I like the previous one, changed the feet. And here it's the same torso as last time, but you can have a better look than last time. So now we've got that, let's move on to the current version. And finally, we have the modern incarnation of Bionicle Spider-Man. Some of the major differences from the previous version. The torso's been pretty much the same, but I've trimmed down some of the connectors to make it look a little sleeker, and I've given him a new logo. The head, the eyes, I decided to make them yellow, because I thought that would look cool. And it fits the whole different vibe I'm going for. I swapped out the web shooters, which he always had external web shooters, but I swapped out the ones that were previously bits of cut up duct tape. I swapped them out for Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider web shooters. And finally, I made him a little bit taller, using some slightly longer shin pieces, which I put a tire around to add a little thickness. So this is the final version. There's no more versions after this. This was the last version that was released. And I swear to God, there are no more versions. So it seems I wasn't correct. That wasn't the modern version of Bionicle Spider-Man. In fact, premiering right now is the most recent version of Bionicle Spider-Man. Bionicle Spider-Man 2.0. This mock I'm very proud of, and it's got to be my favourite version so far, because it actually looks like Spider-Man. One thing every past version had in common, every single past version of the mock had this in common. They didn't look like Spider-Man. The costume just did not look right. But this is the first time where the costume actually looks like Spider-Man. So that's why I love this modern version. Ironically, the part of Bionicle Spider-Man he's lacking is the Bionicle part a little bit, as he's mainly built with Lego system elements, with some custom action figure parts. And he features some bootleg parts. He features little actual Bionicle, which is the fun part. But I'm really proud of this mock. Also, little thing about him, he's actually fully separate from the original, so we can do comparisons like this. They're the same size, and I'm really happy with the two of them. And I hope you're happy with them as well. My viewers are happy with them, because I'm really proud of these mocks. I mean, the old one, I like it. I do still like the old Bionicle Spider-Man. You know, he's still got charm. And I'll admit, he does have some things better, such as he has objectively superior articulation than the new version. It's just, the thing with this mock, yeah, he's got good articulation, and he's been used for the whole series. It's just, this mock was definitely showing its age. And I was, especially like in the series, when he gets paired against newer mocks, like villains and side characters, the mock definitely shows his age. But overall, I'm really happy with this. And I hope you guys are happy with it too. So yeah, this guy, you can get out of here. Because we got this mock. He uses similar techniques to the old one, such as the action figure parts used in the arms, but he uses actual Lego for the upper arms, and the torso. It's built pretty much entirely from system bricks. He's got custom made stickers for his back and front logos, which are pretty damn sweet. Made them myself. He's got this new mask with these Todd McFarlane inspired lenses as the eyes, and he's got, finally, he has, this is also the first version of actual red boots that go all the way up to his knee, like they should, instead of, like a load of the old versions giving him black shins and making the boots stop at the, ankle. He's got the stripes up the arms. He's got every single detail is how it's supposed to look, and that's what I'm so happy about with this version. With this guy, I sort of leaned into the fact that I couldn't get it accurate, so I made my own thing. But this guy, I didn't have to. I could finally accurately and authentically depict the original comic suit. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And let me know, what's your favourite version, or what do you think is the most interesting incarnation? And I hope you enjoyed that video. It was a load of research to make it. And I researched for ages. That was genuinely all I could find photos-wise for the very old ones. I looked for a good while, and you gotta believe me there. But hopefully you enjoyed that video, and hopefully if you did, and you're not familiar with this channel, hopefully you like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. So yeah, see you later. Bye.